Talk about Ozwatch, am I right? Our very own Charlie talks about the Australian wrestling scene, and all of a sudden, WWE is running an event there. Coincidence? I think not. Nevertheless, this is WWE's first ever stadium event in the land down under, and as expected, it's being hyped as a very big deal. The match being built the heaviest is a last time ever, except probably not really, match between Triple H and The Undertaker, two of WWE's biggest stars ever without a doubt. That being said, one has to be better than the other, right? That's where we come in. In preparation for this epic encounter, I'm Connel from WrestleVision, and this is me comparing Triple H and The Undertaker from the eyes of the fans. As will become a trend in this video, both of these greats have had many different phases in their career, and each will be taken into account to create an overall answer. We'll start with the game, Ugg. He wasn't always the same based H, saviour of WWE and giver of NXT that we know today. Underhurst Helmsley started out with a Connecticut blue blood gimmick, where he cut promos in the second worst British accent I've ever heard, behind mine. After this, he joined D-Generation X, and this is where his true promo ability came to the forefront. Whether partaking in comedy in the late 90s, mid 2000s, or Little People's Court and only Little People's Court from 2009, with bestie Shawn Michaels, or cutting badass monologues as The Game, The King of Kings, The Cerebral Assassin, or Middle-Aged Dad, H could make any of it work. With Taker, he spent the first decade of his WWE tenure portraying an undead zombie magician. Suffice to say, he wasn't given much microphone time at all. Taker spent most of his early years being helped through promos by his pallbearer known as Paul Bearer. After the split from Bearer, Taker was on his own and had to rely on grunting and saying "rest in peace" to get him by. The most Taker has shown genuine microphone ability throughout his career was as his run as the American Badass from 2000 to 2003. During this time, the then dubbed Booger Red cut some genuinely great promos, including being the first wrestler to counter the What chants in the best way possible, something wrestlers like Damian Sandow and Alexa Bliss have since tried to replicate. However, Taker's time in this role was brief, and he was soon back to grunting and digging holes and taking souls, so I think the legendary Phenom loses out to his opposition on this one. Being popular in the 90s must have been great for a wrestler. I mean, apart from all the chair shots to the head, the fan demand for in-ring ability was a lot lower than it is today. That being said, two of the top stars of that time managed to adapt and survive in the Ruthless Aggression era and beyond. Triple H, whilst never having the most diverse moveset, is in my opinion one of the greatest users of in-ring psychology in history. He knew how to tell a story in the ring, so that when he would whip out his bigger moves in a match, the fans cared. Taker for most of his career was in the very same situation. During his early career, he was objectively a bad wrestler. The early 90s era limited him to only choking and choke slams and tombstones. However, Taker adapted to the times and actually developed a wide arsenal, adding moves such as the Last Ride, Old School, the Outside Dive, and Hell's Gate to his moveset. And on top of this, a similar psychology level to The Game, and he takes the cake on this one. When your career lasts for 20 odd years, you're bound to have a lot of epic matches. That very much rings true for these two old gents. Triple H's first classic matches were his matches with Cactus Jack in 2000. Many people, including The Game himself, credit these matches with Foley as the matches that cemented him as a main event player. As someone who would need to be at the top for years to come, he would need to maintain this level of performance. And his matches in later years with The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Chris Benoit, John Cena and Daniel Bryan rank among his best. He also had epic encounters with the Dead Man previously, but you know, spot the difference. However, The Undertaker is considered one of the greatest of all time, largely due to his collection of matches. Taker has had epic matches with Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and CM Punk, as well as downright legendary matches with Mankind, and also Shawn Michaels. Taker had a streak of WrestleMania matches between WrestleManias 23 and WrestleMania 29, when he was putting on one of, if not the, match of the night. Not the only streak the Dead Man had at the show of shows, mind you. As the son-in-law of the owner of the company, it should come as no surprise that Triple H has accumulated quite the resume for himself throughout the years. A lot of people claim it is undeserved. I'm not going to go that far, as he still probably would have a hell of a resume without Stephanie's involvement, in my opinion. The Game, Ugg, has 9 WWE Championships, 5 World Heavyweight Championships, 5 Intercontinental Championships, 2 European Championships, and 3 Tag Team Championships notched onto his belt. Besides this, the Cerebral Assassin has a King of the Ring victory, 2 Royal Rumble victories, as well as being named Wrestler of the Year in 2008, and being part of Feud of the Year 4 times in 2000, 2004, 2009, and 2013. He also had 2 Match of the Years in 2004 and 1 in 2012, shared with the Dead Man. Speaking of the Dead Man, he himself has an amazing resume. He earned himself 4 WWE Championships, 3 World Heavyweight Championships, 7 Tag Team Championships, and a Hardcore Championship. He also has 1 Royal Rumble victory and was a part of 2 Feuds of the Year in 1991 and 2015, as well as a Match of the Year in 1998, 2009, 2010, and the aforementioned 2012. Now on paper, Triple H's accolades wipe the floor with Taker's, right? Well, you are yet to talk about Taker's greatest asset. As I'm sure you are aware, unless you have never watched wrestling in your life, and even then, maybe, The Undertaker has a bit of a winning streak at WrestleMania, accumulating 21 straight victories before being bested by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Currently with a 24-2 record on the show of shows, Taker has an incredible record that will never be duplicated in this or any lifetime. Triple H may have more championship success, but possession of this 2-decade accolade makes it hard for any wrestler to ever come close to Taker. The Attitude Era, by far the most popular and mainstream period in WWE history. Being popular in the Attitude Era and beyond would make any wrestler amongst the most well-known of all time. Triple H's success in the wrestling world is still being felt to this day, as he leads the next batch of future superstars in NXT. As the future CEO of WWE, Triple H is a well-known name even outside of the wrestling world. A lot of people recognise his iconic entrance and Motorhead theme song. Triple H's step into the outside world may be amongst the worst of any top WWE star in history, starring in Blade Trinity, which was okay, and amazing classic movies like Inside Out, not that one, and The Chaperone. Triple H can offer me as many Gargano vs Ciampa classics as possible. I will never forget The Chaperone. On the other hand, if I was to ask any old average Joe on the street to name a wrestler, they'd probably either say Hulk Hogan, The Rock, or The Undertaker. Taker's longevity has made him one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time. His entrance has been immortalized, being replicated by every man, woman, or phallus to ever enter the wrestling business. His theme is iconic, his moveset is iconic, his taunts are iconic. That's the only word I can use to describe The Undertaker. Iconic. He never broke into Hollywood. He didn't need to. He became mainstream just through wrestling, something the Chaperone over here never quite managed. So that's the end. The Undertaker was victorious here over Triple H. Will this result echo that of the result of Super Showdown? Let us know in the comments below. Also let us know who you want us to compare next. Remember to follow the Vision on Twitter at WrestleVisionYT, as yours truly will be live tweeting during the Super Showdown pay-per-view. I've been Connel from WrestleVision, and that was me comparing The Undertaker and Triple H from the eyes of the fans. Follow the Vision.